Hi, so I'm actually on hold with Dr. Eric Berg for a live call-in show right now. I just decided to call in and ask a question. So my question is going to be, I have I feel like I have 10 pounds left to lose, and I'm not sure if what I perceive on my body, like right here, to be body fat or loose skin. So my question to him is going to be, what are the steps to lose this last 10 pounds of weight? Is it going to involve tightening the skin through working out, or should I push myself to go down that extra 10 pounds of weight? And I'm hoping that I can phrase that better as I get closer to the call. So that might chime at any moment. And at that point, I will answer the call and maybe even just do this on camera because, why not? So in the meantime, I'm going to talk about my 2019 so far. So I decided to go into this year doing what is known as alternate day fasting. So I've done that pretty regularly until the point that I had to go back to work and start working again, at which point I realized that I did need a little bit of substance to keep me going because I was a lot more active when I got back to work. So I did that, and that worked great. So the weight came down even more. So 240 beginning of the year, 235, let's say. By the end of January, I got down to about 225. And then I started working out a little bit more. Of course, I was still doing a lot of walking every day. And I just kept at it. So into March, I was getting down to that 100-pound goal of losing 100 pounds. And I started announcing that out to the world and felt good about that. So yeah, I got down to about 209 around April, still doing the ketogenic style diet. Now, I wasn't always perfect when I would do the diet. There were days when I would want to have a little bit of carbs, and there were times when my friend would call me out and we would go and I would probably eat something that I shouldn't have. But that kept me focused on doing more fasting the next day. One of the tricks that I used was that I would weigh myself a lot. So I would basically weigh myself at the end of the night, just before I went to bed. I would also drink apple cider vinegar at the end of the night, mixed with lemon juice. I wanted to talk about the apple cider vinegar and how I think that was a big help to me. So I would take that, not every night, but most nights I would drink that before I went to bed, mixed with some lemon juice, water, and some cinnamon, which helped me when I was diabetic. Oh, I'd like to say too that I did reverse my diabetes. I did my official A1C test about a month ago, and it came back. My number was 7 or below. I didn't get the full details, but I heard from my doctor over the phone. So yeah, that was another milestone for me this year, was reversing diabetes, which, to be honest, I probably had for several years and didn't even know, because I did notice the pattern of having to go urinate a lot at night and throughout the day as well, and wanting to drink a lot of water and that kind of thing. So diabetes reversed, so yay me. 115 pounds lost so far. And my question to Dr. Berg is going to be, how do I lose that last 10 pounds? And is a little bit of more gym training required for me to tighten up that loose skin? The high blood pressure pills worked for me. That did get my blood pressure down. The statins, I did some research on. I didn't really feel bad on them, but I did do some research and I realized that wasn't for me. I'm not going to go into detail here about what I learned about statin drugs, but it just was not for me, so I decided to stop doing that. So, and I was shooting insulin for the first couple of months. And that's when I noticed that I was going to the gym and I'd lost a little bit of water weight, but the weight was not coming off. I had plateaued, I think at that time around 270, if I'm right, maybe 280. The scale at my gym was also off by about 10 pounds, I found out later. So that was a bit discouraging when I found that out. But over time, I thought, okay, well, I'm just going from 280 now instead of 270. So the day that I stopped shooting insulin, taking insulin, the weight came off. I think I remember losing like 6 pounds after a gym workout. That day, I went right to the scale and it's like, well, okay, that worked. Okay, I'm going to continue on with that path. I told my doctor that I had stopped taking the insulin. I was also on metformin, specifically for the diabetes. I kept taking that for a little while, but I realized that the apple cider vinegar was doing kind of the same thing that the metformin would be doing. And my numbers were consistently low. I would check my blood sugar every day, sometimes 3 times a day throughout this whole period. Probably from September through to the end of January, I checked my blood sugars that much. And the first couple of months, my levels were still high, and around end of August, they came down into the normal level, and they stayed there the whole time. So I would say that even before I dropped a lot of the body weight, I had controlled my diabetes to the fact that I was taking readings every day and seeing good results. So I did go down from a 16, 17, down and kept my range between 4 and 7. By the end of January, my numbers were consistently between 4 and 5. And that's when I really knew that I had beaten it. And all I had to do was take the official test, which was done, and done. I can move on, as long as I stay with a healthy diet. So let me take another break here, and maybe I'll be on the line with Dr. Eric Berg. I've lost 110 pounds, and I've reversed my diabetes. So thank you. All since September. So is there something extra I can do to help lose the last 10 pounds? And how can I tighten loose skin?
Got it. Okay. So you want to tighten loose skin, lose that extra 10 pounds. And you started in December?
In September.
September. So from September to now, you've lost how many pounds?
110 pounds.
That's pretty good. That's actually really good.
Thank you very much. I'm very proud.